Philippines is indeed a tropical country, characterized by a relatively high temperature. The warmest month occurs in May, with a mean temperature of 28.3 degrees Celsius. With a warm temperature in the country, the simplest favor one can give himself is to pop a can of soda. This is a story of one of the people behind a popular soda brand.
Dwight has been working for Mobil since 2011. He worked as an accounting director/controller. So basically, he's in charge of the flow of money into and out of the company at every point.
The company collects from customers in two ways. Either the delivery drivers bring the cash or checks they collected from the customers, then they give the payment to me. And I directly give it to Dwight. Or credit customers send checks in the mail which go directly to Dwight.
But Dwight seemed to have other plans. He is involved in a lapping operation where he alters the accounts receivable section of the balance sheet. Dwight took large amounts of cash and replaced each cash amount with checks from the credit customers. There seemed to be no fraud happening because Dwight did not record most of the checks endorsed to him.
Dwight never listed the checks he gets as received. Instead, he would extend the payment term. Let's say from 30 days, he would extend it to 60. And sometimes, the payment is extended indefinitely, where in fact, the customer had already paid his dues.
Over the course of a year and a half, Dwight's superiors became increasingly dissatisfied with his performance, although they were still not aware about the fraud that has been going on.
His performance in the company started to plummet. He failed to submit his reports on time. He also comes in late. At times, he doesn't show up at all without notice. Our department also got a complaint from the office cashier against him.
There was this instance when I asked him if I could follow up the payment of one of our customers who seemed to forget his liability from us. He just started yelling at me, calling me names. He insulted me right there and then. He even grabbed one of his pen from the table and threw it against the wall. He really had a bad temper. It was a terrifying experience.
So, what happened was, he got fired by the company executives. It was a bad karma for him. He deserved it anyway. I can still remember. It was a Friday morning when the executives broke the news to Dwight. But here's the catch. He left on Friday, right? The external auditors, on the other hand, arrived on Monday.
So, when we visited the company, we found out that he got terminated. We were surprised about that, to be honest. It was only then that we figured out all the scheming, the lapping that he has been doing for the past year. So I coordinated with Ms. Leah Bolinao, the person who replaced him as accounting director.
I was just speechless to find out that Dwight can read all the records to conceal his terrible acts. He took cash receipts journals, copies of customer checks, deposit slips, and other financial records. He even altered electronic files, backdating accounts receivable lines to make them current. He also increased customer discounts.
I even found 2 checks with a total amount of 150,000 on a deposit slip. But no entry was made in the accounts receivable during that month. I tell you what, because Dwight took away so many files from the office, sometimes the only way to verify was to go to each customers and reconstruct payments based on their records.
He was very much in denial at first. He even pointed the blame on me. on me. I mean, seriously, I've been working hard my whole life.
All the physical evidences are pointing on Dwight. His finances were a mess when he started working here. But along the way, we noticed how his lifestyle started to prosper. He bought jewelries and luxury watches, expensive clothing, several cars, you name it. He was also able to set up several businesses, such as a pawn shop and a jewelry distributorship.
I also heard about his pastime of spending lots of money gambling. Whenever his colleagues asked him about his rapid success, he always says that he gambles a lot and that's why he wins a lot.
As the manager of HR, I have an access to his payslips. Yes, he gets a monthly income of around 80,000. Definitely a huge number. But he's buying 7 million worth of house and is also driving a 2 million car. It doesn't add up unless someone died and left him an inheritance.
During his trial, Dwight maintained his innocence and arrogance. He even dismissed his own lawyer and declared he would represent himself. But the jury was unconvinced by his tactics. The presiding judge convicted him with 19 counts of fraud and false statements and was sentenced to 20 years in prison.